Number 3. Safe Deposit. Hedwig decides to hide the golden tablet on land. As she and Dudley make their way to her hiding spot, they are seen by Prince Lothar, making his final appearance on this list, I swear. He sees the golden tablet and decides to steal it. Anselm has assigned Justin to do some bird watching as his homework. While attempting to do so, he is attacked by birds defending their nest, which causes him to fall and be captured by Lothar. This episode has a lot going for it, including the only other time Lothar has ever been at odds with Hedwig, and I wish that it happened more often, as it seems to make for outstanding episodes. Anyways, the main reason this one ranks so high is that it features Justin at his most awesome. After being disgusted by the thought of rats during one of Anselm's lessons, his tutor tells him that every creature has value, so while tied up he has the brilliant idea to rub the ropes against a piece of meat when he sees a rat, so that it gnaws on his bindings and frees him. Even before that, he calls out Lothar on how poorly he rules over his kingdom.
Because when Braxton defeats Gandor in battle, I'll become king of both countries and you'll become my slave.
You'll never become king of anything, Lothar, because you don't have the military power to mount any kind of campaign, nor the money to pay for it. Your country will always be poor because you don't know the meaning of work.
Lothar boasts of his plans to melt the golden tablet down, which is what motivates Justin to escape, and he takes it back by holding Lothar at sword point. I can't recall many heroes in animated television at this time who would hold their swords that close to a villain's throat. After repaying Lothar's kindness, he runs off with the tablet. Something I have to note is that I always had a theory that the person who stole the golden tablet from the Mer people in the past was an ancestor of Lothar's. It would be so perfect if it turned out that the Prince of Gandor has been trying to right a wrong inflicted on the Mer people by Braxton all this time. On that note, another headcanon theory I have is that the potion that lets humans breathe underwater allows the people who take it to talk to animals. Justin and Chauncey never talked to any of the animal companions until after they took it, so that seems quite possible. Justin learns from Dudley that Marina has been captured, so he immediately goes to rescue her, but although he doesn't know it, he has help.
I don't like the looks of this.
Something could be done about it if you wouldn't mind performing a minor task for me this afternoon.
You bet. This wouldn't involve sending somebody down to see the sea witch, would it? Because if that's what you've got in mind for me, you can just forget about it.
I see. Not even for 100 clams?
Was that 100?
That's what I said.
Then it does mean going down there.
Yes, but she'll be more afraid of you.
Anselm transforms Ridley into the gargoyle in order to aid Justin. This takes place before their encounter with the real one, so while it was kind of lazy to recycle the design, I still think it actually works as a neat foreshadowing towards their eventual encounter with him. The only problem is that Justin doesn't realize that he's here to help, and he throws the golden tablet at him to save Marina, so of course they escape without it. Of all the episodes where they fail to get the golden tablet back after coming close, this is by far my favorite because not only does it have a strong story otherwise, it feels like a natural failure and not forced like in some other episodes. Also, the dialogue never gets as bad as in Quest for the Golden Tablet.
I believe that somewhere deep down inside her, Hedwig knows we're meant to be together, and she wants us to have the tablet in spite of herself. That's why she gave this to us.
If that isn't the most dim-witted thing I've ever heard, Justin, well, you're just a big fool!
You said it, Winnie. Can you believe they actually named a DVD volume after this story? Because Safe Deposit is only the 8th episode, Justin's speech at the end about how they'll have another chance to get the tablet rings true, as at this point it felt like there was plenty of time for that part of the story to pay off. After episode 2, there were only 4 episodes, including this one, where the protagonist tried and failed to get the golden tablet, so it really wasn't as detrimental to the series as it could have been. Episodes where Hedwig lures them into traps by letting the heroes think the golden tablet is at a certain location generally have much better setups for plots, as you don't feel cheated out of seeing the main goal of the series resolved by the end of them, But despite that, I like this one better than any of those, so I guess it all depends on how you tell the story. This proves that even when failure is the only option, you can still make a great episode.
Hey, where do you suppose that big monster came from? And where'd he go?
I guess that's a mystery that we'll never be able to figure out, Marina.
Number 2. Be careful what you wish. While playing frisbee with Justin and Marina at a beach, Chauncey accidentally discovers a wishing well. Marina wishes to always be together with Justin, Winnie wishes never to see Hedwig again, and Justin wishes to be as good and just a king as his father. But the next day, Marina is teleported back home when she tries to go see Justin. Winnie is magically chained to Hedwig, unable to leave her side, and Justin has turned evil. Chauncey seeks Anselm's help in getting to the bottom of this, and while talking with him learns about his history with Hedwig. This is the episode that really made me wonder what Disney was thinking with their series. For starters, let me say that I love the opening with the protagonist on the beach. It's always nice to see them having a good time, and the older style for their bathing suits is really refreshing to see. The wishing well turns out to have been an old prank of Hedwig's, who cursed it to grant the opposite of whatever wishes people made, which is a very interesting idea. I like how it's something she made so long ago she forgot about it, and not a trap she made recently. I also have to wonder how many people have fallen prey to it in the past and how bad things got for them. I'd hate to see the poor souls who wished for long and healthy lives, or even worse, wished something for their friends or family.
I see. The well. How could I have forgotten? The good old days. That spell was one of my all-time favorites.
I also wonder if somebody could have used the backwards nature of the well to their advantage by wishing for misfortune upon themselves only to be blessed instead. These are the sort of questions I never once asked myself while watching Disney's Little Mermaid show. This is actually one of the closest times Hedwig has ever come to winning, because she messed the main couple up good by indirectly corrupting Justin and preventing Marina from ever being with him. If it weren't for her becoming inseparable from Winnie, I don't think she would have been nearly so eager to undo the spell. While the main plot is great, it's the scene of Anselm giving a lore dump that really puts this so high on my list. In the distant past, he and Hedwig were guardians who used their magic to help people. But over time, Hedwig's heart became corrupted and she betrayed Anselm, freezing him in ice. He was saved by an ancestor of Justin's, promising to serve his kingdom for the rest of his life. He then managed to turn the tables on Hedwig and, despite her pleas, stripped her of her powers, transforming her into the form we are most familiar with, exiling her to the sea with the promise that if she ever repents of her wicked ways, he will restore her to her former glory. But as we know, Hedwig went on to learn a new form of magic, becoming the Sea Witch.
Everybody got that? Good!
This is such a different take for a Little Mermaid adaptation. I don't think anybody else went this deep into the Sea Witch's backstory before this episode aired. The Disney series was never capable of something like this. Can you imagine if they delved into Ursula's backstory? It could be interesting, but then as you wondered where they are going to go with that, you suddenly remember that they can't go anywhere because
something came up. Now, what was it? Oh, yes! You all shish-kebabbed her!
This, on the other hand, is an open-ended narrative, so you have no idea what path the story will take. Will Hedwig reconnect with her good side, or will Anselm be forced to admit that the woman he loved is no more? The story could go either way, and I would be satisfied with it. But considering the fact that Anselm hopes that she will repent at the end, I want her to do so for his sake. This reminds me of the relationship between the blind prophet Bashir and the evil sorceress Mirage in Disney's Aladdin series.
You once left me, Mirage, to pursue your malevolent path. But one day, love will triumph over your evil heart and bring you back to me.
I have to admit, the Aladdin series is definitely better than Saban's Little Mermaid. I consider it the gold standard for animated series based on both fairy tales and movies, but one, it came 3 years later, so perhaps they were partially inspired by this backstory, and two, I like Fashir, but he's not as cool as Anselm. Mirage, on the other hand, is like Hedwig minus her bouts of incompetence, so she is overall a more wicked villain.
You're one sick kitty.
I know.
Another great thing about this backstory is that it was foreshadowed. Besides Hedwig saying that she wanted to return to the surface in the golden tablet, it was also referenced in the episode What's Cookin'? Hedwig attempts to force Dudley to drink a reversal potion to make him smart instead of dumb, but he resists and accidentally causes her to drink it, which turns her nice. Although she changes back and forth between her old and new personalities every time she hits her head. When Anselm hears of this, he seems hopeful that Hedwig has turned good again.
Do you think Hedwig will ever make up her mind, Anselm?
I'm not really sure, Ridley, but given the choice, who would choose to remain evil?
Perhaps this new persona is what Hedwig was like before she turned evil. I have to say this is another one of my favorite episodes because nice Hedwig is hilarious.
They really are such a lovely couple, straight out of a romantic novel. Hurry back as soon as you're done, and I'll have a surprise for you.
All right, if you say so. As though I hadn't been surprised already today.
This plot point isn't really touched upon again, but I have to admit it didn't need to be. The fact that it even exists at all manages to make the entire series better. For example, in the first episode, Anselm is no longer just a character created to save Marina from the fate Mr. Anderson intended for her. He was freeing her from the spell of his arch-nemesis even if he didn't know it at the time. It also brings some context to this line of Hedwig's.
So, it's just the three of us, and I'll bet you can't guess what it is that I hate most in all the world.
I'd say everything.
No, not everything. Just those things that are good and beautiful. When I see something like that, I get an uncontrollable urge to destroy it.
My theory is that she hates beautiful things because she herself used to be beautiful, and losing that beauty made her so bitter that she enjoys destroying the beauty in others. She must miss her old form because she was shown to have a portrait of her former self in Nature Hike. Another very nice detail in my 5th favorite episode that says a lot about her character. For a while, this was my favorite episode because it offered a story that is complete, and yet it also feels like you're just scratching the surface of a larger narrative. It shows that somebody working on the series truly cared about making a quality production.
Be well, my dear old friend. I can only hope that someday you will return to me.
And my number 1 favorite episode of Saban's Adventures of the Little Mermaid is Beauty and the Beast. Hedwig intercepts Justin's potion and slips a little something extra in it which transforms him into a monster willing to obey any command, even if it means hurting Marina. This is what I was foreshadowing when I said that Hedwig did something that even Ursula would congratulate her for doing.
You have a thing for this human, this prince fellow. Not that I blame you. He is quite a catch, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, Ursula kind of did that to Eric in the movie when she hypnotized him, but at least he kept his humanity and he wasn't hurting Ariel. Well, physically anyway. Here, the prince is reduced to a brutal monster. This results in the most intense episode of the entire series, and the only one to really unnerve me as a kid. It begins with a surprisingly good build-up to the reveal of Justin's monster form, starting with him swimming into a cave and screaming as he changes before he emits a glowing light, followed by shots of him in the shadows. Eventually he steps out, and it's definitely an intimidating design. I think that what really makes it so effective is the eyes. Unlike the gargoyle where you can tell what he's thinking by looking at him, Justin's eyes in his monster form are cold and dead, showing that all of his nobility is gone.
Behind these eyes one finds only blackness.
the absence of light. These are the eyes of a psychopath.